I love how My Hero Academia, with this chapter in particular, 309, Horikoshi, the author, really decided to showcase, while there's a huge arsenal of basically tools at Deku's disposal regarding, you know, the whole vestige, all the quirks that he has from the predecessors of One for All, the real quirk that Deku has been with him all along. This was a real demonstration of Deku's character, how it's come full circle since the beginning of the series, everything he's been through, and even everything that he just recently started acquiring, from, you know, the Black Whip, the Float Quirk, the, you know, sensing danger, and all of that stuff. And yet, still at the end of the day, one of Deku's best tools is something that he's had from the very beginning, his own metaphorical, personal quirk. This chapter really demonstrated just what Deku truly is and how he rocks. And I ain't gonna lie, even with some of the badassery in this battle against Muscular, it was just really interesting to see and analyze Deku for what he really is at this particular point in the story, because again, we're close to endgame. This is seemingly the grand finale, the final act of My Hero Academia, and Deku right now, even with all the stops, there's still something very basic and fundamental about the character that we're gonna dive into, because this chapter, the new Deku, his powers left and right, it was a full-on demonstration of just epicness, and at the same time just still enforcing that Deku ain't here to play anymore. Not this time around, fam. Like, whole different ball game. When he fought Muscular last time, he was inexperienced. He was a wimp, so to speak. He was a trainee. We're past that stage now, and Muscular got a lot of problems on his hands, and he don't understand that. That's the difference between an evolved person, somebody that's, you know, past the stage of nonsense, and somebody that is just in an endless loop of bullshit. So, yeah, we got to talk. Without further ado, people, let's talk a little bit of that My Hero Academia Great Balls! I'm liking this Deku. I'm liking him a lot.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
This chapter, honestly, Muscular gave me quite a bit of laughs, because for starters, he's acting like this is his old college buddy. Like, man, remember, like, I had one really crazy fight, but I guess that just shows the impact that One for All, you know, Deku using it at 100% really had on him, because, I mean, we see in the chapter, you know, he's missing an eye, or, you know, his eye is a little bit more messed up than it was back in the day. So it just showcased that Deku left a major impact, because he is just from top to bottom throughout the chapter, like, just enthralled and, you know, just completely interested in Deku, until he starts realizing this isn't the same person. So that kind of goes into the whole idea of what I'm saying about an old college friend, of like, yo, man, remember when we used to do this? Yo, you're still awesome, right? And then you realize, oh, he's changed, he's evolved, I'm still an idiot. Because the chapter opens up with just that, Muscular being very excited, like, yo, Deku, it's really you, right? I wouldn't forget it, it's you, right? Say it's you, mate, please. Saying, you know, I've missed you, these wimps ain't compared to you. It's been like, it's almost like if Deku this I may or may not have had to censor that out. We'll find out after editing. But we got a little dive into Muscular as well. The fact that he tells Deku straight up, like, yo, I'm not here for any of that revenge stuff. Basically demonstrating that Muscular is one of the most basic of, like, old villains. Like, he, you know, he was around for a while. Obviously, we had a fight with him back then, so it's not like he's just brand new or anything like that. But he's still just a basic muscle meathead. Like, that's just what it is with him. He basically says, yo, I'm not here for revenge. I'm just human, fam. Like, I'm just here to have a grand old time, essentially. Which, again, just shows the fundamentals of, like, he's bad for not the sake of being bad, but because he doesn't care about the rules, and it gives him a thrill, essentially, to do whatever he wants. And I love how, again, he's like, yo, you taught me a whole new type of fun. Like, what did Deku do to this man? Said he taught him a new meaning of fun, and it's like to the point of no return. And then we get a close-up to one of his eyes, which, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he used to have like a bolt or something in one of his eyes? Maybe I'm misremembering, but yeah, his eye looks like more distorted and messed up now. But I want to say that his eye was, he didn't have two normal eyes back in the day. Maybe I'm misremembering on that. We'll check it out with a little clip I'll add in here for reference. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that he already kind of didn't have like his eyes perfectly, you know, just normal. But nevertheless, it just, again, a little bit more of the impact that Deku had when he kicked his ass. And it's shortly after that moment that Deku starts to notice and starts using his true quirk, as I've said, of basically what's going on with Muscular. The fact that when Deku jumps up on top of this building, from building to building, that Muscular, he doesn't jump as high, and he's there questioning like, wait a minute, why wouldn't he? Like, he's chasing me down, right? He wants this grand old fight. He's excited. Why would he jump to a lower level? Using analysis, deep diving into this guy while they're having a battle. Also, just to note, the entire time he's throwing smoke everywhere, which again just showcases like Deku got so many freaking quirks now, like holy shit, and we're gonna keep talking about it, but damn. And then shortly after, he drops off Shindo. He's like, okay, you know, he's good, we good. Basically just demonstrating damn near everything. If you think about it now, this chapter demonstrated everything Deku has learned throughout the series of being a hero. Everything he knows about being a hero, he showcased. Like, okay, let me get the civilian, or you know, the person that's harmed out of harm's way. Let me, you know, make sure everything's good, and then keep moving forward. Even apologizing, again, like, that seems like an All Might move of like, yo, sorry I didn't get here sooner, and he's worried about the buildings and things like that. Those are classic traits that we've seen in All Might. And again, that's just everything that a real hero would say. Worrying about the civilian, worrying about the property being damaged all around, worrying about him being a little late, worrying about a lot of things around. Again, hero traits, fam. Now, this is something that I'm wondering, is it going to be a mainstay moving forward, or exactly how is this working? Because as he's moving around using the smoke screen quirk from one of the predecessors, seems as though the predecessor is kind of guiding him to a certain degree, giving him direction, basically teaching him as he's moving forward. Is that going to be the case from now on? Like, can he just like, oh, you know, he's trying to do something with float, Nana can come in and basically say, yo, Deku, do this, this, and that? Because that would be interesting, but at the same time, it would kind of feel like hacks, because basically it's like, you know, 6, 7, 8, however many, 9 people planning together with every attack. But it also showcased that it's kind of like a mentorship. Even still, even after Deku was at this point of like, you know, he learned a lot of things like that, because he's telling him, first of all, like, yo, you use too much of the smoke screen, but also he guides him in the direction of, you need to be more strategic, which that's Deku's bag. He's basically luring Deku to his own talents. And some of the art of Deku in his updated costume, it looks fuego, I'm not gonna lie. Horikoshi just really went in his bag of like, yeah, this is the new Deku, fam. And I guess it also showcases that Muscular left his mark on Deku as well. It's not only one-sided, because he's like, oh, how could I forget? The person that took 100% one for all is still standing right here. So it's both ways. Definitely Deku doesn't care about him in that manner like Muscular. Muscular's like, oh my god, you know, more BFF is here. And Deku's like, I remember that dude. Like, yeah, he did some wild shit. Like, big difference. And here's where, following, you know, he just used the smoke screen, he just starts using everything. Like, Horikoshi again wanted to demonstrate just how far Deku's limits are at this point with his quirks, because he uses float after smoke screen, then the danger sense, then following that he starts wrapping Muscular in the black whip. Like, he just used everything he had right then and there. So let's count it up for a second. The super strength, if I'm not mistaken, that's a quirk in and of itself, right? Or is that just a combination of all of them? But let's just say, okay, let's count it as one. Super strength, the black whip, the smoke screen, the danger sense, and the floats. That's 5 if I'm not mistaken. So he has a handle of 5 quirks thus far, which if you go now and look back and think, wow, in the beginning of My Hero Academia, Deku would go on to have 5+ quirks. Yeah, nobody would believe it. Also gives a little bit of insight into the grandioso things when he asks Muscular like, yo, so Shigaraki and All for One, what are their plans, what's going on? And Muscular's like, I don't know, they just broke me out of jail and said, go nuts, go wild, mate. Which basically means that they're using people like Muscular, everybody that they broke out, as a major distraction, which we kind of know for the most part that they needed anyway. Like, one of the things All for One said the last time we seen him is that this body needed to heal up, and I'm imagining his body from being in captivity, being imprisoned, and, you know, that psycho ward that they had him in, probably needs to heal as well. Also, maybe their plans need to come along. Probably, I'm imagining that if they broke out the doctor from whatever jail they had him in, Dr. Maruta Shiga, they're probably going to try and push Shigaraki's body from 73%, 74%, all the way up to 100% now, so that he could be absolutely perfect. Assuming that's even possible at this point, who knows, maybe because they stopped it in the midway, maybe he can no longer even go to 100%, or it takes another method to get that extra 20-something%. But then, we see that Muscular is very bummed out. Again, that old college friend just ain't like he used to be. He's boring now. He's responsible now, and Muscular don't like that. He's like, yo, I want to have a knockout, drag-out fight, fam. What are you doing right here using these whips and all these little parlor tricks, fam? Again, it's interesting that in the narrative, we're viewing the growth of Deku from kind of the eyes of Muscular, of like from the last time he saw him to now. He's like, you're using strategy, you're doing things different. Again, Muscular, he's not happy about this, so he's gonna just downplay it, but in essence, it's just showcasing Deku's immense growth through a different perspective. Very interesting and unique. And once again, Deku showing another trait of being a great hero, where he tries to understand, sympathize, and reason with Muscular, like, yo, why are you like this? What's going on with you? Talk to me. And Muscular's just like, well, you know, I want to have mad fun. I don't want to have no regrets, and I don't want to abide by any law. So basically, again, reaffirming that Muscular is not bad for the sake of bad. He's bad because basically he wants to do whatever he wants to do. That's essentially it, which again is very simplistic, and it's not like Muscular's an important, you know, villain to the entire series of My Hero Academia anyway, but that's pretty much the bottom line. And it kind of gives Deku, in my opinion, a sense of like, some people, it just is what it is with them. Like, there's a difference between somebody like Shigaraki that Deku could sense there's more to it than that, than this guy Muscular, that he just is whatever. He's a wild meathead. Pause. But then Deku once again uses his true quirk, understanding and realizing, wait a minute, there's gaps in his muscles when he's repairing, and he's able to deduce immediately a major weakness with Muscular. And the chapter ends off with Deku blasting through the side of Muscular. I want to say that I don't think he's down just yet. It just showed a little demonstration of like what Deku is capable of. I think there's still going to be a little bit more of a fight moving forward into the next chapter, but I don't see Deku not necessarily not breaking a sweat, but I don't see it going anywhere close to what their first fight was like, where Deku had to struggle. It was like, you know, he's about to die. I don't see that happening, especially with all these quirks at his disposal now, the Black Whip, the Float, the Smoke Screen, the Danger Sense, all of that stuff. He's not going to have to struggle that much. I think he's still obviously learning these things because the predecessor had to kind of tell him like, yo, you're using too much, things like that, but it just showcases above all else. That is all awesome. All the traits of Deku being a real hero, but I love that it shows that all along Deku has had his most important trait, his most important quirk, and that's his strategy, his mind, his deductions. Remember back in early in the series how Deku always walked around with a notepad and would write stuff down and had notes on all the craziest heroes and all that stuff? That is something that is his true essence of power. And while he has this incredible strength and, you know, floating and all of that stuff, it's just extra tools in his arsenal to who he really is and how he's really capable of doing what he does. And yeah, I'm really rocking with so far what we're doing with this battle against Muscular. Looking forward to seeing how it goes. Curious what you guys think though. How do you feel about Deku's character as it stands right now? Everything that he knows, how he's maneuvering this battle against Muscular, your thoughts on Muscular, and your thoughts on where you think this is all going to go moving forward with My Hero Academia. Again, we're in the final act, but so far it's like, yo, we're bringing back a big dog from back in the day, and Deku's doing his thing and showcasing, not only from the perspective of Deku, but from an interesting perspective from Muscular of, yo, he's grown. And yo, bro, thoughts and expectations for the My Hero Academia manga with chapter 310 and beyond. Looking forward to seeing how this fight gets resolved. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And again, major shout outs to Deku. Sometimes it's the most simplest thing that you have with you that can be your ultimate power. And that's been from the very beginning Deku's ability to deduce, analyze, and strategize against his opponents. Have an awesome one.
You